Jeff Chan from Demonstrated, and as you can see, I'm here in Victoria, British Columbia with 6-time kickboxing world champion. And we're here at this iconic background because we've been hanging out for the day and got to know about Gabriel a little bit and vice versa. And we thought we'd make like a fun video about how different we are. First fun fact, I'm sure you guys already know, is Gabriel's got, when he spars, he's super tight, clean, textbook style. Everything's by the book. If the elbow flares, the hands drop, Me, on the other hand, I break the rules all the time.
But it works for you.
But it works
right?
for me.
It works, but it is a very, very polarizing
very
style.
Second one, coming off of the first one, is you're a pressure fighter. You stay tight and you pressure forward. I'm on the outside. I like to keep the distance and I like to use a lot of head movement.
Yeah, very different on that aspect. I basically use that pressure because I'm trying to push the pace of the fight, push the pace of the fight.
Difference 3 is you like to throw high volume boxing combinations.
Yeah, once I've done the work to get to the inside, it's like, there's no point in doing one.
Yeah.
Why one? I gotta work, and that for me at least means something's gonna land. At least
well, I mean, you get the guy to shell up, and then you let it rip. For me, I like to keep the range. I like to throw one shot, and I like to pull to see your reaction so that I can counter the counter. Or I like to throw the one shot, pull back, you come forward, I shoot for the double leg. In MMA, I kind of expect the guy to not shell as much.
Right.
So I need to throw those one shot.
Yeah, it's definitely something that that I've become known for, is those long combos, and we train them. We train them in pad work.
Yeah.
Not just hitting the 1-2s. We try to build those 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes even 7 piece combos. And if you can get them off in a fight, man, it feels awesome.
It does. Difference 4, speaking of sparring, you hate sparring.
I don't like sparring. This might change once I retire and I'm not taking the sparring so seriously, but if you could tell me one thing I could give up and it wouldn't affect my fights, and people would be like, oh, you give up like the burpees or the 400-meter sprints. I'm like, no, man, I'm giving up the sparring. I don't want to do that.
I'm the complete opposite. All I do is spar. Like, I love sparring for the content itself, but I have a good group of like controlled sparring guys, just like you do. And that's why I'm able to spar a lot. And I've learned to use communication to spar light. It's just fun.
Yeah, it can be fun. I think the difference for me now is I associate sparring with fights. I spar when there are fights. And that means when I go in, I'm nervous. To me, a sparring day is like, oh, I have to do my best. I can't make mistakes, because if I make mistakes now, I'm gonna make mistakes in the fight. So that's all that same association. Hopefully down the road, I'll get back to liking sparring, but I have not liked it for probably 15 years now, 10 at least.
Hopefully, I'm trying to convince him to post more sparring footage because his sparring is super entertaining. Difference 5, he is a cardio machine. And as he gets to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, he gets even better.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. The first round, I'm explosive, I'm fast, I move. Second round, a little bit slower. Third round, I start shelling. I normally never shell, but I'll shell because I get tired.
You get tired. Man, I mean, everybody's got different things that affect them in a fight. Now I push the cardio in camp like it's something my life depends on. But also, as we mentioned previously in the day, man, I've dialed in my warm-up, because I know going into the fight and not having that perfect warm-up can make you fatigue so hard in the later duration. But yeah, for me, round 3, round 4, round 5, if somebody said to me like, you can do 8-round fight, I'd be like, perfect. I'm gonna crush people in those later rounds, because I just keep picking up speed. And people say that in pad work. They're like, how did you start round number 1 like up here and you finished up here in terms of output? I'm like, I don't know.
What are we at, 5 or 6 now?
6.
Which would be, you have some crazy discipline and I don't. And the reason why I say that is because you're telling me that when you are by yourself, you train harder, you push harder.
Yeah, that's true. So I went over to Ontario one time to do some training over there for a couple of weeks. And when I went and reflected after, I'm like, oh, I did the classes, I did what I was told, and I probably did 70 or 80% of what I would normally do for myself. And then I realized like, oh, maybe I'm better off in Victoria pushing myself. If somebody runs with me and they can't keep up, or they can only do 5 sprints and I want to do 10, sometimes I'll ease back. But if I'm by myself, it's like my expectation is up here and I have to meet that ridiculous expectation.
I'm the opposite. So I was working out with Alan, the guy who's filming us right now, and he's looking at me like I'm crazy, because like we're doing sauna, then we're going to the hot tub, and then we're like lifting weights, and I'm like doing so many sets and reps before I had a sparring session like an hour later. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, Alan, I actually wouldn't do this if you weren't here. I push harder when I have a friend working out with me, or if I have a friend or a coach that's watching me. If I'm being honest, nowadays, I don't spar unless the camera's on. in my head, I'm like, why am I taking any brain damage if I'm not gonna get a collection of it?
That's so different than me, up to the point where I do my best training sessions when literally there's not an eyeball on me. If I go to the soccer field and I'm doing sprints and there's somebody there and they're looking at me, there's something about it where I'm like, I look like an idiot if I sprint to the point where I'm like on the ground fatigued, so I don't do it. But if I'm in complete and utter like loneliness, I'm at my best.
And when I'm tired and lazy, I'll put the Muay Thai style back.
Yeah.
And the coach comes here. Difference 7. What do you do for cardio?
Run. Mostly run. It has been up to the point where I've done six days a week of running.
I don't remember the last time I ran. I spar for cardio.
Spar for cardio, man. I mean, when you spar for cardio, based on what you said before, where you have more of a distance-based style, but I have the pressure style, how do you get your cardio?
I mean, to be honest, I don't train for cardio. I hit pads when I have a pad. This really depends on the season. Or not season, but depends on. For example, before I had a kid, I was hitting pads. I was doing other things. Now that I have a kid, I'm training like once or twice a week, max. If I'm gonna train, I'd rather spar and make content. Sometimes I'll hit pads, but it's really opportunity-based at the moment. But right now, as we speak, I don't run, and cardio, I spar.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. You have to pick and choose.
Yes.
Where am I going to get my training? What do I enjoy most?
Yes.
But for me, I'm like a big advocate on the channel. If somebody can't run, I'm like, okay, here are all the alternative cross training, but don't try and just prepare for your fight in terms of sport specific stuff. Mostly because I find the sport specific stuff gets easier and easier. Whereas the cross training is always hard for me. I don't know why, but I've done so much punching and kicking that I feel like I can hit kind of a flow. You put me in a pool and say like, do 40 laps and be in a flow state. I'm like,
I mean, maybe that's why I like sparring, because I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not working my cardio. Difference 7 or 8 by now. You eat multiple meals a day. How many again?
I probably eat 6 to 8 meals a day.
That's crazy, because that speeds up your metabolism.
Weight cutting time. I would rather eat like a couple almonds and then, 30 minutes later, eat a little bit of this, and then being like, okay, Gabriel, you get 2 small meals today, but at least there's pretty well proportioned. On weight cut week, I'll just kind of graze, but I'll never have an actual meal.
On the other hand, I like to eat 3 massive meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I eat so much that I honestly fall into a coma. Like I like to eat until I'm
uncomfortable stage.
Yeah, and the reason being is growing up, I've always been the smaller guy, and I've always wanted to get jacked. If you're a bodybuilder, you would know you want to eat as much as you can, and it's a time limit. So if you eat really quickly, you'll keep eating until that time. With that said, I'm a new father. I don't get to train as much. I am gaining some extra weight, so I've cut down to 2 meals, 2 massive meals. I don't eat breakfast anymore. I fast in the morning. Difference 8, 9. You eat super slow. We had just had sushi.
I legitimately could probably sit down and eat a meal, like a normal size meal, but not a big meal, probably like 40 minutes. I just, like a sloth, just kind of eating. I take a bite, put my chopsticks down, just sit there for a little bit.
Me and Alan, we were watching and we're just like, up. And then we decided to take a break before we took another bite. You guys watch Goku? Do you know what Dragon Ball Z is?
I haven't watched it before.
Oh no. Dragon Ball Z fans, Goku, just swallow down. That's me.
I have a couple people that I eat with around town in general, like my buddies, and I just go and I'm like, you know what? I've got to eat as fast as I can. I've gone to meals and been like, I'm going to eat as fast as I can so I don't feel odd because they're done their meal and I'm only a quarter through, and I've gone and eaten as fast as I can and still they're done and I still have half my food left, and I felt like I was stuffing my face.
Difference 9 or 10. You're a quality eater. You're saying
so picky.
You're so picky that you went to a restaurant, didn't like it, what was it?
I went to a restaurant, I didn't like it, and then I'll just be like, no, I'm not eating. I'll make food when I go home. Like it's got to be food that's worthy of me eating.
I'm the opposite. I'm the type of person that will literally eat anything that's in front of me, and I'm like quantity over quality, and this is because, again, I used to be skinny, still am skinny, and I always want to gain that weight.
Just being so spoiled my whole life with my dad being a French chef when he was in his 20s, that just whenever we have family meals and such, it's just like, oh, it's so good. And then I learned how to cook a little bit through him, and I'm like, man, if it's not good, I don't even want it.
And final difference. I learned that you don't need to train all over the world at the biggest and best gyms to be a world-class fighter.
I got my core group. It's very small. Many people go, oh, you must have so many more people that you train with. But no, I mean, in terms of sparring partners, I got, off the top of my head, I've probably had like 4 consistent ones. Now, that's not to say that occasionally, once every 6 months, I won't scoot to Vancouver. Like last training camp, oh, my gloves. So I'm like, yeah, that's the last fight. I went over and I did 1 day of sparring in Vancouver with somebody new.
Me, on the other hand, I'm all over the place. Like in my hometown, I got 4 gyms that I'll visit. I'm always traveling to a different country or city, cross-train, but the truth is that's really more for the content.
Right.
But yes, my training regimen is to cross-train, train with as many people as I can.
Which is good because different looks give you more skills, I think. Mine is pretty much based on the fact that I don't want to spar with people whose skill level's down here. I'm like, it's a waste of my time. And I don't want to spar with people whose skill level's up here, but outweigh me or are going to try and kill me or don't have control. And I've basically been like, there's like 4 dudes in town that can give me looks that I need. And a couple of them are boxers, a couple of them are kickboxers, but I take what I can get.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this fun fact about how different I am than Gabriel Varga.
Yeah, that was fun. A little different, but yeah, we still make it work.